Good afternoon to all our colleagues in Europe, and good morning still to those in the UK. And welcome to the breakout session for today's day 3 Imagine event. This is going to be covering our UC and networking vendors. So I have the pleasure today of introducing 5 fantastic speakers. First up, we've got Jasper Vredigor from Extreme Networks, followed by Michael Berkovich from Juniper, Susanna Merrick, who's Director International Distribution Channel for Mitel, Mike Tate from Oracle, covers Alliances and Channels Director, and one of my old colleagues from over 10 years ago, who I haven't seen all that time. So nice to see you, Maya. Maya Pitamba, who's Senior Director for International Product Marketing at 8x8. So without further ado, I'd like to hand you over to Jasper to kick us off with telling us all about what Extreme Networks are doing around their customers. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much. Well, it's not all about Extreme Networks, actually. It's a bit more of a generic presentation I wanted to share with everybody, since the theme of the event was the channel is moving to a more software-centric model. I thought it'd be nice to elaborate a little bit on, what kind of questions end customers should ask themselves if they are looking for a cloud architecture. And not all cloud architectures are actually created equal, and that's what I wanted to talk a little bit about, and that's what will become apparent when I make the presentation. I hope that will help partners in our channel to support their customers in making the right decisions. So thank you, Westcon, for organizing the event, organizing the platform. It's great to be here. My name is indeed Jasper. I'm responsible for all cloud sales in EMEA at Extreme Networks. A little bit, obviously, about what we do to kick it off with. Extreme Networks is one of the cloud leaders in the industry, a leader in the Magic Quadrant, and we've been there for a while, but actually only really since Extreme changed its strategy to become more of a software-centric cloud strategy. And that started about 3 years ago when they decided to acquire Aerohive Networks. Not because Aerohive had a great, fantastic, controllable solution, but because of the cloud infrastructure that solution was built on. And that architecture we'll talk about, but it gives Extreme Networks a bunch of USPs that we're very proud of. And obviously the idea and the strategy was, well, the industry is moving to cloud, we're moving to cloud, so we're going to use the cloud as a platform to sell all of our great products that we have, like Fabric, like switching, like wireless solutions, and offer that from the cloud to our channel and customers. Now, how we want to be special in that is by being very flexible. Obviously, Extreme is not the biggest company in the industry, so we are looking for flexible ways of offering this cloud to our customers and partners. And that means that basically with our cloud solution and our network management tool, we offer the possibility to monitor or manage any vendor in the industry. So also our competitors and their products can be managed through our cloud platform. We want to do it in any way, so offer public cloud, private cloud, or local cloud. Our customers have choice in that. Whatever in whatever phase of cloud adoption they are, they can pick either one of those three options, and they can also choose between the different hyperscalers that are out there in the industry, being Amazon, Azure, or Google. On top of that, we have our application suite. We have location applications, guest applications, NAC applications, and all of those are also available from our cloud platform. Now, having cloud means on the right side, you have to have your security top notch, right? There's a lot of data involved, critically important that that's managed very well, and that you are fully ISO certified. From a commercial perspective, we've tried to simplify things and make it really easy to digest our subscription and cloud model. So all of our products, all of our hardware products have the same subscription or license. It doesn't matter if it's switching or if it's APs, wireless, or any other product. We have one license model, and you can move those licenses across, across our portfolio. That's just a little bit about where Extreme is and what we're doing. And now I want to dive into those. Okay, what are those 10 questions that customers should be asking themselves when they're looking for cloud solutions? And these are more generic questions, but they're good technical and business questions. And the reason why architecture is important is that really when somebody buys a cloud solution, architecture is almost 50% of the value that they're paying for. That's constantly there. It's always present, and therefore it should be really good, and it's really important to understand. Features, on the other hand, we all know that you always get a ton of features, but maybe you only use 20% of that, which is fine. But the architecture is always there. It's really important to understand and know that. Hosting. You should be supported at least by the top three providers, the top three hyperscalers as a minimum. And why is that? That is because when you're locked in, innovation is going to slow down dramatically, and obviously that's not something you want. Proprietary tools will be used, and that's going to limit you in your development and innovation, and that's something you want to prevent. So hosting is key. Make sure that whatever cloud solution you procure, there's at least three provider possibility. Then global footprint. Make sure that the cloud provider you choose has a global footprint. It operates across the globe, and really that's a testimony of being able to support multiple cloud hosting providers means that you're operationally efficient. So it's more of a testimony to that. And that will assure you of having the continuity of your application from the cloud. Then obviously there's downtime, and maybe 30 years ago anyone was lucky to get 3 nines in the enterprise space, but today you should make sure as a customer when you get a cloud solution that basically there is zero downtime. Make sure that your cloud architecture and application are fully audited as well, and you have continuous operation. If you're paying for a subscription hosted by a cloud architecture, this means that you have achieved a level of operational efficiency that gives your business continuity if there's zero downtime, and that's in the end what's critical about this question. Then there's proprietary technology. Always bring this up and talk about proprietary technology. Cloud really is a race in the industry. We're all aware of this, and all vendors are doing some sort of cloud solution. One is further than the other. Look at Gartner, who's furthest in that. But in the architecture, proprietary technology should not be a part of that, because since cloud is such a race, and it has only actually just started, just being maybe the past let's say 10 years, but the past 5 years it really accelerated. The next 10 to 15 years it will continue to grow and evolve, and so the pace that will go is undetermined, basically you need an architecture that can follow that pace. And therefore, proprietary technology in the cloud architecture should be limited to a minimum. Then there's something about microservices, and microservices is really the way how you build the cloud being a machine, and no longer being a monolithical machine, but a machine that is built up of tons of smaller pieces that make a whole of it, and that is really what microservices is. Microservices basically allows the vendor to take out smaller pieces out of the machine, upgrading them, changing them, improving them, whilst the machine keeps on running and therefore does not affect its operation and customers or channel, right? So microservices are the way to go in the architecture. And if a vendor says that they emulate or simulate microservices, that's typically not really a great sign of a solid architecture. Then there's frequent updates. I talked about the continuous pace of how the cloud will continue to evolve, and so your cloud vendor should make sure that you get updates as a customer continuously, at least on a monthly basis. You should get non-disruptive, based on microservices, updates to the cloud. Some you won't even notice, but the cloud is continually improving and getting better all the time. This, it reduces risks, it saves time, and throughout the entire term of the subscription. If frequent updates are not this regular, then as a customer you should wonder really what does this cloud infrastructure or architecture look like, because that's not going to help me to keep up with the race in the industry and the pace of the innovation. And so at Extreme, what we like to say is that we innovate at cloud speed, meaning on a continuous basis. There's data duration. And the data play becomes really important in this cloud story, because as I can imagine, as a networking vendor, we have millions of customers across, or 10,000s of 100,000s of customers across the globe attached to our cloud, using our cloud, and basically we're getting all the data from their networks flowing through our cloud. So that is a huge data lake that is being created, and that data lake is something that we leverage with artificial intelligence and machine learning. We analyze that data, which is obviously ISO certified, completely anonymous, but we definitely use it to improve our products and give our customers improved solutions in the end. So really, from that perspective, data is fueling machine learning and artificial intelligence. Data ownership becomes really important, because obviously who owns that data? Well, that sole ownership should be with the customer, with the subscriber, the license owner. They have the data, it's theirs, and we as a vendor should be at any time be able to export data and give it back to customers. And as a matter of fact, that's one of GDPR's requirements. And so Extreme has built things around that to facilitate that. But GDPR is a generic thing. Any data or global cloud vendor should be able to offer that kind of solutions to its customers. Then there's data durability, and you may assume that whatever's in the cloud will always stay in the cloud. But we're looking at 11 nines of data durability, which equates to if you have 10,000 data objects and you read and write these objects continuously for 10 million years, you will only lose one object. Much like treating data as basically money in the bank. it's really important, and you don't want to lose anything, or maybe 1 penny every million years is acceptable. So that's something that data durability enables and allows, because obviously one of the reasons for customers to go to the cloud and to benefit from the cloud is that in the end you can make and derive data from it and make data-driven decisions based on whatever you get out of that. I'm not sure how I'm doing on time, but last slide for me is the certification and the security, because that's one of the cornerstones of doing cloud. Since there's so much data involved, we should be 100% secure and data proof should be there. ISO certifications are there. At a minimum, any cloud provider should have 27001, but there's 2 others that are optional right now, but they will become probably a requirement within 1 to 2 years. So 27017 and 701 are also critical to have. Extreme has these. There's more vendors out there in the industry that have ISO certification that's up to the standards required, but it is critical for any cloud vendor to make sure that we have this. It also protects the image of cloud in the industry. It has to be secure and safe, and if that is the case, then I'm sure that cloud will continue to rapidly grow over the next 10 to 20 years, and we as cloud vendors can benefit from that, but hopefully our partners can benefit from it, and in the end, of course, our customers can all have great networking solutions provided from the cloud. That was the end of my contribution. I hope this was useful to you, and I'd like to hand it over back to the studio.
Great stuff. Thank you very much, Jasper, and amazing to see how far I think Extreme have developed and come in the last 8 years that I've been working with them and familiar with what they do. So amazing stuff. Thank you, Jasper. Next up, we have Michael Berkovich from Juniper. Michael, you there? Looking forward to hearing
can you hear me okay?
your presentation. Good stuff. Yeah, we can hear you. Okay.
Fantastic.
Welcome to the breakout.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, and welcome everyone. Let me just go into full screen as requested. Can everyone see that? I will assume that the answer is yes. All right. Let me go. Sorry, apologies. I haven't heard back from everyone. I assume you guys can see that.
You.
Yeah, fantastic.
You'll need to go back into full screen, please.
Yes, I believe you can see that.
You.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much. So good morning, good afternoon, everybody, depending on where you are in the world. And I've been asked to, the theme of my topic is not so much about the Juniper Partner Advantage program, which I'll discuss, but more about how we see the relationship between vendor and reseller evolving as our market has changed, and opportunities for capturing some of the market possibilities that are associated with this evolution. So the theme behind what we are trying to do in our reseller program, which is called Juniper Partner Advantage, essentially is revolution, not evolution. And you've heard that before. So we are taking the program that existed and are adding new elements to it, like a Elite Plus tier, as you could see, or accommodating in the lower right for managed service providers. So there's adding components into the program itself. Then there's optimizing some of the existing elements of the program, like partner incentives and our sales accelerations, our promotions. So things that adding new things and modifying things that were there. But of particular importance, and where I'm going to spend most of the time for the rest of my presentation slot, will be on this concept of hyper-connected communities and partner enablement. The opportunity that we see for our entire reseller community, be you a specialist or a general practitioner, and regardless of the method of how you might have a relationship with Juniper, we want to open up new and additional venues for conversation, new and additional venues for enablement, for education. Those are the two core themes, and those are the things that are significantly different this year compared to previous years. So, first of all, the program itself. Historically, the program focused on technical champions, how certified you were, how many experts you had in a particular technology type. For the first time ever, we're now incorporating sales-related certifications, sales-related, let's call them achievements, to recognize that there's two parts in our industry. There's the technology, and then there's the selling of the technology. They go hand in hand, and so we want to recognize achievements on both sides now. There's also an additional tier, which we call legendary, and again, that's just to refine the process that was already there, and to make room for growth for an entry level reseller into the program versus an experienced reseller in the program. And then, of course, the ability to, as we say, up level, but really that the theme is that is being fluid in your ability to have certifications and tiers married to what the particular reseller's business might need. And mapped over to the right are some of the additional bits of information and how the program itself is changing. Now, I did say that one of our key focuses this year, and what's brand new, is this concept of a connected community. And so by community can mean lots of things. Now, of course, in our particular example, we are, and what you see on the screen here is the ability to drive communications between multiple groups of interested parties. What does that mean? So using Slack as our underlying engine, as the tool for hosting these communication channels, we want to build groups that have common interests and place them into a singular platform, as opposed to the multiple platforms that are available today. Place these groups of people into singular platforms where they can communicate on what's relevant. So, for example, highlighted here, if your focus is on the technology, the products that we sell, if you want to focus on data center, for example, there will be a channel for that. There will clearly be other channels for other technologies. But there could be channels associated with geography. Or again, when I say channel, I'm also using the word group or community. It could be geographically based. It could be vertical solution based. Are you in the oil and gas industry, for example? Now, these communication channels, by their very nature, are meant to be public. And so we ask everyone that when they go in there, they understand the environment that they're in. And it's also meant to be a venue by which, again, you can obtain information that would also be publicly available. And really the theme behind it is to make it easier, faster, simpler, or potentially a one-stop shop for sharing information, obtaining information, potentially asking basic questions. Now, that part is key. Asking basic questions has a tendency to advance to very, very specific questions that you might not want to pose in a public forum. So then we move on to what we are calling virtual sales pods. Now, the sales pods will, again, they have sub-themes. There will be technical pods. There will be sales pods. There will be pods that are language specific, because clearly not everyone will be comfortable doing it in language A. They might prefer doing it in language B. These are private locations. These are communities where it's yourself and the selected Juniper expert. There might be more than one. There might be only one. But the idea is that you will be able to collaborate in private with us, the vendor, on whatever happens to be the issue of the time. So this is all moving in this overall direction of either bringing customization or a bit of personalization to the reseller, and even potentially, creating a quick route to when a customer has a particular question and you need the answer fast, you can be able to supply that. Now, this isn't a bot, so this will be manned, if you will, by live people. However, it might take a bit of time to get to the exact person that you need unless you've got an existing dialogue going. So the idea is that you won't be able to go into a sales pod or the overall community, type a question, and some chat bot will respond with an answer. We want to make it a live human being that you would be conversing with. So from that perspective, it tailors performance according to what you need. Very, very complex conversations, very intimate conversations. That's not really what this is designed for, but it can facilitate the beginning of it. So again, evolving the system by which a reseller can communicate with their vendor. Some would say modernizing it, but I would say it's just simply including, or adding additional tools. So if you happen to be happier to pick up the phone and make a call, that venue still exists. If you prefer an email, fantastic, that's great. I will say that no one does faxing anymore, even though I know that officially we can support it, but hasn't been used for a long time. So again, this is just adding an additional tool, a modernized tool, if you will, to the equation. Now, alongside that is also updating the underlying tool where you would get information from, which we call our Learning Academy. Now, the Learning Academy itself, like any educational tool, needs to evolve to not just provide new content, but also to provide new consumption mechanisms. So whether that's a simple video on demand instruction on how to do something, whether that's how to do configuration or how to place an order, 5-minute, 10-minute video, if that's what you prefer, fantastic, it's there. Would you prefer a live scheduled webinar where there's some interactive Q&A? Fantastic, that's available to you. Again, really key is the ability to support multiple languages for obvious reasons, and to have that content tie into the requirements of the program, so that when you take the appropriate content, whatever form you consume it in, it relates to the overall activity of either selling the solution to the customer that's interested in it, or obtaining your certification, or reaccrediting yourself in some other way. Now, again, where things have changed this year is that the content that we as internal employees consume is, for the most part, exactly the same as the content we share with resellers, within limits, of course. And so, therefore, there's less of an opportunity for miscommunication between what inside hears versus what outside hears. Now, the themes, hopefully what you've seen as I bring my presentation to close, hopefully what you've seen and the underlying theme is this idea that we want to expand and focus on the different elements that you can communicate with us as a vendor, and therefore, as resellers in the audience, you could take those communication tools and leverage them to be a little bit faster with your questions. We can respond a little bit faster to requests for support. We can give you more timely information, which is ultimately what most of our resellers need and want, and up-to-date information as well. So with that, I think I've managed to drag us back on time. I believe I will end it there, unless there are any questions. No? Okay, well, thank you very much, everyone, for your time and opportunity.
Thanks, Michael. I think the questions will be collated, and we'll get back to them afterwards. So if there is any questions, we'll let you know.
Fantastic.
I'm loving the way the Juniper program encourages a kind of building a community within your business. You know, I think that's quite a new concept. I haven't seen that before, so that's quite an exciting development in partner programs. I like that.
It was.
So thank you very much.
We're very keen on it as well. It's a new experiment for us, and hopefully it works out well.
Yeah, I think it will. So thank you very much, Michael. Very good. Next up, we have Susanna Merrick, who's the International Distribution Director for Mitel, someone who I work very closely with. So welcome, Susanna, and really looking forward to hearing what Mitel have been up to in recent months and years. So over to you.
Thanks a million. So good afternoon, I think, for everyone now. Great to be here and to be aligned with one of our key strategic distributors, Westcon. So really, I wanted to take this opportunity just to build really on the theme of today. And I think really following up on that amazing keynote speech from Ken Hughes, who I think really hit the nail on the head when he talked about a number of things around, putting that customer at the center of kind of our approach as we move forward. So just a little bit about me. Susanna Merrick. I joined as distribution director for international with Mitel last year. And my background is in various industries, but the last 10 years with BlackBerry, looking after mainly their EMEA distribution channels. So my role with Mitel is really about building and empowering the distributors to support you, the partners, to make sure you're getting the best possible support you need from Mitel. So very excited to be with you today. So if I go back to what we were talking about around that kind of putting the customer at the heart of everything, and that's really the play that we're coming at is from Mitel now as we move forward. It's really about understanding, that customer needs when we're speaking to to you, our partners, and to the customers. What we're hearing back now is very much around. They need that complete end-to-end solution. They need, the products and services that are going to complement their existing infrastructure and help them build something really strong for the future. So it's future-proofing as well. They're looking for that, really making sure that they're leveraging the investment they've already made within their infrastructure, but also looking at how do they evolve that, as we said, to make sure they're robust and capable to move into that future place as well. So also they're looking for, they have very high standards, and we need to be thinking about really the vertical requirements, looking at what is it the customer actually needs, what are the combined product set they need, solution rather than a point product that's really going to help them address their business needs. And of course, what we're hearing everywhere is they want that flexibility and simplicity around their commercial modeling. So that includes not negating their CapEx, because that they still have a requirement there, but also just making sure that they have, a subscription and cloud as we move forward. And we also recognize that you, the partner, have requirements as well, right? So we want to make sure that, as we move forward, you have those relevant products that you can go out and have a meaningful conversation with your customer today, and making sure that you're serving their requirements. And it's really about how do we help you to evolve those offerings and make sure that we're best serving the end user. And also that commercial offering that I touched on before. So it's really about making sure and helping you to support those customers as well, giving them the right IT support, the right services to address their needs and that solution, and really to help you to drive growth. That's ultimately why we're here, right? We want to build our business together. So how can Mitel help, right? I mean, ultimately, our focus is about making sure that it's easier to do business with us, to make sure that we're offering you that commercial flexibility. And I'm going to touch on, making sure that we have the relevant products and services that you need in order to address your customers' needs. So we've talked a lot, and I think it's been touched on a lot around that whole flexibility and choice. And I think that's really key. Our customers today have invested heavily in their, particularly in the UC with Mitel, and that's not going to change overnight, right? That's we talked about. I think Ken touched on it as well. It's like we're on a journey, right? We have to think about how do we help our customers to go on that journey to get to the kind of future-proofed place. So it's about making sure that as Mitel, we have the right offering for you, the partner, to take out to your customers. So looking at our heritage of on-premise, we're continuing to grow and invest within that space, whether it be customer-owned, partner-managed. We need to be able to support and continuously invest and innovate in that space. We're now looking, obviously at broadening that commercial offering with including subscription, which is on the 400, and we're looking to add that to our My Voice business. And that will grow as we move forward as well. But we're really keen to make sure that we have the right kind of commercial offering for you to drive out to your customers. And of course, cloud, that private instance of cloud, whether it's, again, customer owned or partner managed, we need to be able to support you as best we can. And then we have that, those cloud assisted apps and features that are really fundamental to making sure that we're relevant again and bringing the right solutions and serving the needs of the customer. And again, that makes us stickier as well. When we have the right solution stack, when we have the right commercial offering, then we have a real reason to engage again with our customers. And of course, we have the recent partnership with RingCentral, which also allows and addresses that UCaaS requirement as well. So what's fundamental as we move forward with Mitel is really about how do we meet the customers where they're at. And really, people buy from people ultimately, okay? So we need to ensure that we're giving you the right tools, the right campaigns, the right information, training that absolutely makes you that trusted advisor. And I know that's a name that's banded around quite a bit in the market today, what the trusted advisor. But, we touched on it in the panel. It was touched on in the keynote speaker. It's really important that we're listening to that customer. We're actually solving for a problem rather than actually delivering a point product. So I urge you to kind of get in touch with your BDM for Mitel, understand the case studies that are available, particularly in different verticals, because that specialization as well, will really help. If you understand some of those great case studies that are available to you, you can really reflect that back to your customer and say, hey, this is what we're doing with another customer. How can we, maybe there's some ideas we could do. So working as that trusted advisor really does support and make you fundamental to that customer in their planning and their decisions and, in looking about how they do make the next steps for their business and solve their issues. So I encourage you to get in touch with our SEs, or they will be absolutely delighted to support you. Our CAMs, our channel account managers. So, they want to work with you to support you on that journey and make sure that we can give you the right tools. So let's look at just internally, from a marketing perspective, how are we kind of hoping to drive and support you in that conversation? So for those of you who are not aware, Power Up Hub is our partner marketing hub, if you like, where it's fully self-service. It has pre-built campaigns to support you. You've access to some joint marketing funds. We've got some great customer information in there, business cases, all those things you would expect, co-brandable marketing tools that you can drive out to your customer base. And hopefully really making, within a very short space of time, enabling you to get your message out to the customers and driving engagement there. Also, just obviously insights into the industry, what's happening in the marketplace so that you fully understand how you can best support your customers on their journey. And then, of course, we want to hear from you, what's happening, can we do some joint business cases together so that we can really drive and again, grow the knowledge in the industry, make sure we're building on our growth together. And some of the campaigns you'll see within there are our customer migration and expansion campaigns. They're there in multi-language, co-brandable, lots of great playbooks in there. So great tools that are already pre-built for you to take, leverage, put your logo in there and get out very quickly to your customer base, and driving, again, that kind of that intelligence and really making sure we're sharing our learning around the marketplace. So we obviously, there's so much more. This is a bit of a whistle-stop tour in terms of what I've taken you through today, but I think it gives you a sense of where we as Mitel see the focus as we move forward, putting the customer at the heart of everything we're doing. But my call to action to everybody on this session is really to join our webinar, which will take you into a lot more detail in terms of the partner program, how we support, reward for all of the actions and activities that you're taking on our behalf. And that's on April the 12th at 11 a.m. And that's a joint webinar with Westcon, because we believe that we're stronger together, and that collaboration is really important on deriving the right messaging, the right enablement tools for you. And we're really open to your feedback in terms of what you need. Use the tools, make sure you're leveraging that information to better inform yourself, drive the messaging out to your partners, and also training, right? There's great certification within that, our program today, to make sure that you've got the right tools, the right messaging, the safe pair of hands, if you like, to go out to your customers. And of course, engagement. Make sure you're speaking to your Westcon team. Know your local business development manager. Get to know your CAM for the particular customers, or even your distribution account manager, who will support you in whatever way they can, or point you in the right direction to get the right information. But we're here to help. And as I said, pulling together is how we're going to drive the best success for both sides. As I said, that was a bit of a whistle-stop tour. I think we have an amazing opportunity as we move forward with all the robust offering in terms of products and services, but also the commercial models that we're launching to market with Mitel. But we're keen to make sure that you, as our partner, are fully supported on this journey, and making sure that we, as we said, we put the customer at the center of the solution, and making sure that we address that as effectively as we can together. John, that's me. John, thank you very much, and thanks to everybody who joined the session today.
Great stuff. Thank you, Susanna. 3 things stood out for me there. Solutions rather than product, I think, is something that we as Westcon can certainly support our partners with, especially if it's looking at multi-vendor solutions where we can align vendors in a suitable way. Simplicity and flexibility for customers and partners, I think that's a very good message. And thirdly, the choice message that came across there from Susanna, I think offering the choice, being able to offer choice to our customers and your customers is a key differentiator there. So thank you very much, Susanna. Without further ado, we have Mike Tate from Oracle next up. Welcome, Mike.
Hi, John. How are you?
Welcome from the south of France. Hope you're well. Yeah, all good. Thank you. Hope you're enjoying the Imagine event. I will hand over to you to give us a bit of an update on where we are with Oracle. Thanks, Mike.
John. Thank you very much. Okay. Hi, everybody, and good afternoon. Just very quickly introduce myself. So my name is Mike Tate. I work for the Alliances and Channels organization in Oracle Communications, which is the global business unit of the Oracle Corporation. And as John mentioned, I'm based in France on the sunnier side, so down towards the south, and supporting our channel and distribution business in the European market. So my objective today really is to give you a short overview of what's changed in the industry that's driving this customer behavior. What should partners be, and more importantly, vendors be looking at as well in terms of their programs to help partners face these new challenges. And then I'll just walk you through very briefly what we do at Oracle Net, in terms of our partner network, and how it aligns to those requirements from the industry. So it's, I think we've all seen, rapid shift in our industry over the last decade or so, and into, very much today what is a customer priority, which is a cloud-first transformation of their business. We've sort of talked about digital transformations, etc. But really what we see driving more and more is cloud-first transformation, as customers look for the agility, the cost savings that can be associated with moving, workloads and applications into the cloud. And, unfortunately, or fortunately, depends which side of the fence you sit on, this has been accelerated by recent events, everything from cloud adoption, COVID-19, to geopolitical events that are occurring, forcing, businesses to relocate, potentially staff, etc., but still continue to serve and deliver business in uncertain times. And so, this has really helped push the adoption of cloud and this cloud-first transformation in our customers. So how's that really affected them, and how they go through their purchasing journey, and really how could partners help as well, right? What do the partners need to be able to do to help that? The first thing that is very interesting, that when we look at the world today, is customers are making and using digital channels for decision making, right? We've seen that, a Gartner report recently indicated that the customers are buying, their purchasing decisions, 45% of that time spent in their purchasing decision process, 45% is spent researching online. So it's a digital channel event. And that's really massive when you consider that they're actually only giving 17% airtime to vendors and partner sales teams. So, by the time, if you get invited to meet with that customer, they've already done a huge amount of research online and have made a lot, some decisions. And so as a partner, one of the things that, and as a vendor, you need to be able to do is acquire more airtime in those social selling environments, right? Those social media environments, so that the customers are seeing and hearing about your products, understanding your value proposition. That's really, really important. Customers obviously today, given the amount of information that's out there, they're pretty much overwhelmed, right? If you just do a simple search for SASE, or you do a simple search for security, anything like that, or session border controllers, there's a lot of data that comes flying at you. And so really what partners can do to help is help those customers and through the social selling, but give them accurate, targeted, account-based oriented type information that helps them sift through the noise and get down to the right solution as quickly as possible. The other thing that this whole transformation and cloud transformation first principle has affected things is the way in which they want to buy. Today, their buying experiences have to match what they typically have in their private life. They want it to be simple, they want it to be easy. And so partners really, need to have access to simplified buying processes, to be able to support those customer expectations around that digital buying experience. And then lastly, if we look at, how those customers are making purchasing decisions, it's no longer, just one single entity in that customer that's making the decision, because there are so many complex aspects to purchasing today, including everything from privacy regulation. So it's no longer just the IT guy that's responsible for purchasing an IT application, but he has to involve the compliance officer, he may have to involve a security officer. So it is a very complex purchasing decision process within an organization. And from a partner's perspective, really, that's really important to help accompany those customers, right, through all those different aspects of their journey in terms of that purchasing decision, be able to be that trusted advisor to the customer, when he's in, wants to understand what is the what is your privacy protocols, what is your compliance protocols, etc. Right? As an organization, your code of conduct, all those things are very important to accompany the customers through that process, hence making their digital buying experiences simpler as well. So when you consider, as particularly as a vendor, what should we be focusing on to help our partners meet those challenges that are being thrown at them from the customers? So if we look at, how the customer journey goes today, they typically looking at that from an identify and select type process, a buy and activate. They have an implement and adopt, and they have an expand and extend type of journey in their projects and in their business, right? As they grow their business. And so the partners that we see as an organization, as a supplier to the market of a large number of applications, right? It's very important that there are different types of partners for different parts of that journey and that customer journey. And so a customer, a partner program from a vendor should consider all those different aspects as well, and have the right commercial models and the right support for each of those types of partner as they accompany the customer on that cloud first journey. So an ISV, for example, building applications on say public cloud, say an Oracle cloud infrastructure, for example. The customer is going to now buy and activate. He needs, where is my reseller? Where can I buy it? Are they in the right geography? Do they have the right expertise? I need to actually implement it, right? Do I have the right team in place to be able, with the right knowledge, to help consult and help implement it? Having that knowledge in the right place at the right time to make sure that the project is a success. And then later on, helping those customers to, upgrade and as their business expands, right? And extend their business. And so when you look at, some of the key things that our customers are looking for, right? They really want to have those partners that have the expertise in the products in the right geography, okay? And in the right sort of market area, right? So they understand the customer's market. And all of that is to deliver a quality result. In other words, to have a successful implementation, which means delivered on time, delivered to the right quality and to the right cost. But they don't want to be just sold and talk to, well, that's what we had in the past. They want innovation. They want to see that innovation, how that can help them grow their business, how that can differentiate their business in the market. From a partner's perspective, I think one of the key things that we've understood from our partners at Oracle is the investment from Oracle into our partners, right? Helping our partners to be successful and build the skills and competencies to meet those requirements, giving them access to a product portfolio that allows them to innovate, everything from artificial intelligence to analytics, to big data management, and so on. Okay, and so all of that you really need to build is a partner program that's cloud-centric for that partner and with the various different business models that go along with cloud-centric. And if we look at the core tenets of any partner program that really should serve these, customer needs, the first one is obviously customer centricity, right? So you have to have a customer-centric program driving, the customer needs in the center of that program, so that our partners can then accompany them along that journey. So that's things like having the right expertise in the right geography, and so on. Having success-driven outcomes for partners, rewarding partners through expertise to have that success, so that they are able to demonstrate to their customers that they are capable of, delivering what their customers are looking for, i.e., being able to deploy their project on time to the right quality, etc. But obviously, all of that sounds very complex, and so the key is that the partner program must also have a simplified approach to it, so it makes it simpler. That digital buying experience is easier to have as they go through the project, their program or projects. And so, just coming to the last sort of phase of this, discussion really is more about presenting a little bit of the use case around what Oracle's modern partner network is all about. And so really, you know, we had a look at this back in 2019, where we changed from our traditional program, which was a very hierarchical, you know, sort of silver, gold, platinum, diamond type approach and hierarchy. And we moved to a more flat structure, which really was customer focused, cloud first partner program. And the goal was to help our partners accelerate that transition to the cloud and deliver a better customer experience and have business outcomes because of that. And so if you look at our program today, you know, we focus on customer centricity, right? So we make sure that customers have access to the right partners with the right expertise in the right product, okay? They have access through a digital catalog to locate those partners, but also it gives the partners the opportunity to promote their capabilities to their customer base and to potentially other partners that are seeking that support, maybe in a remote territory that today you can't get access to. And then obviously, you know, customer centric in the sense that Oracle, once you're in the Oracle modern Oracle Partner Network program, you have access to all of the technology that's available through Oracle. So you don't need to have separate entry points or separate programs. It's one program for everybody. Once you're a partner of Oracle, you get access to all of that technology. Moving forward into that area, you know, specific areas, there will be, you know, need to demonstrate your, you know, i.e. develop success. All right. So how have you got success? Develop your certification, or as we call it, your expertise, so that your customers then, you know, feel comfortable working with you for Oracle's technologies. It's success driven. So yes, there's the concept of the customer project success, but how do we do that? We do that through mutual investment with our partners. So our partner program has a significant amount of investment, both in dollars as well as toolkits, to help our customers and our partners, so more importantly, our partners develop those skills and competencies. We have access to tools such as our Digital Marketing Center, which we use today. For example, partners can create content that is pre-prepared by Oracle. They can wrap it in their own messaging and then push that out to their customers, ensuring that their customers are getting the targeted information around what Oracle and what that Oracle with that partner can deliver for that customer. We have a Oracle education facility, so we invest significantly in skills transfer as well with our partners, so that, you know, for example, we have offers such as subscription-based learning, so it's like an all-you-can-eat learning package. It's available to end customers through our partners. It's also available directly to our partners at a heavily discounted rate. But also certain business units like mine, for example, the communications business unit, we provide enablement free of charge to our partners. So we help our partners accelerate their ability to skill up and maintain skills during the, you know, obviously as their business evolves. And then we do a simplified, you know, we have a simplified approach, right? As I mentioned, you know, we keep it very simple. We have a, you know, a membership, and then basically you choose your business model. So if you're somebody who likes to build, you know, applications on cloud, you would go down our build expertise track. So we have 4 tracks, 3 around cloud and 1 around what we call traditional on-premise. So it's very, very streamlined and very simple to understand and how to grow your expertise in there. And as I say, they're really very much aligned to the partner business models. Doesn't prevent you from having multiple, but certain partners have a bit of each. So if you are somebody who builds and then services on cloud, absolutely you can do that, and nothing prevents that happening today. So, and then of course, you know, this gives us one single interface to all of Oracle's portfolio of products and solutions. So again, you know, that simplified concept, one place to go rather than having to search around for access in different areas. And then of course, you know, we have to help our partners, we have a dedicated team tied to the back end. I mean, we have our own communities, which, you know, can be peer communities for Oracle, which are mediated by Oracle, but we also have our own partner assistance team, which can help our partners develop their knowledge through an online knowledge-based support system, plus a team behind if they get stuck. There's open tickets and get help as they go through the process. And then if we look, we also, that's the program itself, but then obviously, there are other things that customers need, as we've seen and we've heard throughout today, which is, customers looking for different types of licensing and contracting models. So we have a very flexible set of contracting and flexible pricing models that allow our customers to, finish their, to move forward with their type of purchasing. So legacy today on-premise, we have our traditional on-premise, and as we go to cloud, we'll see more and more cloud-based approach. Okay, and that's it. So, I would ask you then to join us either at the virtual booth and we can have a chat, or if you need to, join us at Oracle Partner Network.
Perfect timing.
John.
Thank you very much, Mike. Great stuff. Really, really interesting. One of the key words that keeps coming out across all of the presentations so far is simplified and simplicity of doing business. And I think that again is something that you focused on as well. So thank you very much for that, Mike. Lovely to see you. So we're just very tight on time now. So Maya, welcome to the breakout session if you're there.
Yeah, indeed. Hi, John.
Again after all these
Absolutely.
years.
Indeed.
Looking forward to hearing about what you're up to at 8x8. So I'll hand over straight to you. Thank you.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, I'm gonna go and present my slides. So hopefully everyone can see that. Right. So my session today is called, giving Teams users voice superpowers. Right. So this is all about how you as a channel communicator can give Microsoft Teams users voice superpowers. And if we just click to the next slide, right? I think this topic of Microsoft Teams, I think it's been hugely popular, and these numbers tell a fantastic story about Microsoft Teams, right? 270 million daily active users. So that's the estimated number of users using Microsoft Teams. Which, by the way, I think that number is again expected to rise significantly during this year and next year. And that's amazing, given how long it usually takes a new enterprise software application to take hold. And that basically makes Teams an important new front door to basically do digital working life. That second figure that you see there, that 84% figure, so that's based on some research that we did last year. And we found that a large majority of companies want more comprehensive communication capabilities with Teams, right? And then finally, that last figure, the 80% figure that you see, is 80% of organizations are likely to integrate Microsoft Teams with a third-party telephony provider. So I think that that tantalizing possibility of enabling telephony services to an increasingly large number of 270 million users, I think that has really encouraged our entire industry en masse to really embrace Teams and serve this ecosystem. Now, this next slide, I think it also illustrates quite nicely the different PSTN integration options available to support Teams users. So, starting on the top left, you have your Microsoft calling plans, and some of you may already be selling these, right? And that basically offers the most convenient and fastest implementation option for organizations to provide external PSTN calling to their Teams users, because this option doesn't also require any purchasing or installation or configuration of any customer premises equipment, or in fact any third-party telco services. So the calling plans are, basically assigned to users from the Office 365 Admin Center, and I'm sure you must be familiar with this as well. That second option there, right, the Operator Connect option. So this essentially enables enterprises to connect to their provider and assign numbers to the users through a Teams Admin Operator tab. However, Microsoft don't provide any commerce or billing capabilities with this capability, right, within the Teams Admin Center. That means that end customers need to buy phone numbers directly from participating operators before adding them to Teams. and then they need to manage separate commercial contracts with those operators. But Operator Connect does make it easy for those end users to find operators and the associated services from within the team's admin center. And the third option there on the right, so this is essentially the direct routing option, which which I'm going to talk about today, right? Which 8x8 offers. So this is the most attractive offer or opportunity for enterprises with over 200 users, because it gives them the flexibility to choose their own telephony provider at rates in most cases which are approximately half of that what Microsoft charge for their calling plan. So direct routing also provides advanced telephony capabilities which you don't get with Teams. So I guess at this point you're probably thinking, okay, so what is 8x8 direct routing solution and what does it provide, right? So the product offering is really simple, right? It's called 8x8 Voice for Microsoft Teams, and this is essentially a cloud-based direct routing service to make and receive PSTN calls using Teams on your desktop PC, on a smartphone, or even on a web browser. And what it does, it provides this native Teams experience with enterprise-grade telephony as well as contact center capabilities, right? So you get a full set of enterprise-grade telephony capabilities that includes full PSTN calling for your Teams users, and those users can be knowledge workers, they could be contact center agents, and those folks can make and receive calls to fixed line phones or mobile phones as well. You get unlimited calling plans in up to 48 countries, depending on the service plan that you buy from or the customer would buy from 8x8. And there's PSTN replacement services as well in 50 countries, and we'll talk about that in coming slides. There's out-of-the-box native integrations with popular business apps. You get end-to-end analytics for all of the 8x8 calls initiated by both Teams users as well as non-com Teams users, and that's for telephony as well as your contact center agents. And all of that is underpinned by an industry-leading 5 nines uptime SLA from of the 8x8 network. So 8x8, the approach that we've taken is we enhance Teams telephony with more economical calling plans, especially for customers that have standardized on Teams for their enterprise collaboration and communications platform. And we extend Teams PSTN calling to countries where Microsoft don't currently offer calling plans, so that those customers, again, can get the most from their Microsoft 365 investments. So very quickly, this is what the architecture looks like, right? So 8x8 integrates directly with the Microsoft Teams phone system, and it provides all of the underlying voice communication layer of services to Teams users. In fact, what it brings is this whole host of PSTN voice services to all of the users within the organization. So whether they are Microsoft Teams users or not. So for example, you could have basic phones within a factory, or you could have non-Teams phones. You could have analog phones, for example, in a lobby, or conference phones, or warehouse, in places where you won't necessarily have a Teams phone or need to pay for an expensive Microsoft E3 or E5 license for Teams calling. So 8x8 basically, Voice Microsoft Teams provides all of these PSTN calling scenarios. So the next slide is basically showing you, how 8x8 Voice for Teams supports all of these enterprise-grade telephony, unlimited local as well as international calls, and full PSTN replacement in 50 countries. So what that means really is that, if it's a multinational organization, right, they can extend Teams calling to all of those 50 countries and add the 8x8 calling plans in countries where Microsoft don't yet offer calling plans. And PSTN replacement is great, as for those organizations, because they don't need to engage with local carriers or to get a phone service or to get numbers or to port their numbers. They don't have to have individual contracts with each of these different carriers in each country, which of course, is going to also vary by pricing and by service level. So with the 8x8 PSTN replacement, right, we become that one-stop shop with just one contract for all of those organizations to manage and we offer, of course, through our partners, local phone numbers and toll-free numbers and non-geographic numbers, and also provide emergency calling services. So you can imagine for multinational organizations, right, this saves a massive amount of time as well as effort in order to have communication services to all of those countries. We provide that as a single global vendor. And when you add the 8x8 voice gateway, you can extend Teams PSTN calling to over 120 countries. And again, that just maximizes Microsoft Teams deployment. And that makes 8x8 voice Microsoft Teams really a great opportunity for partners and really suitable for organizations that have hundreds, even thousands of users that are spread all over the world. So this next slide essentially, shows that the 8x8 voice for Microsoft Teams solution doesn't change the Microsoft Teams experience, right? It keeps the Microsoft Teams experience unchanged, right? So whether they're knowledge workers on the left of your screen or contact center agents on the right, that Teams experience remains unchanged. And I think that's important to bear in mind because there are so many different various flavors of direct routing within the market. And, customers need to, they need to install maybe an additional app or on the end user device or use special commands. With 8x8 voice for Microsoft Teams, all of that just goes away. They get a native Teams experience with superior voice quality and experience together with global calling plans wherever they are. So also just to mention that 8x8 has we've been the first the industry leader to achieve this contact center certification for Microsoft Teams, essentially offering omni-channel contact center functionality for those contact center agents. So those agents within the contact center, they can accept incoming calls within Teams. They can operate worldwide with global calling plans. There's rich contact center insights as well as for those contact center supervisors. And, we offer 8x8 call recording capability that supports regulatory compliance as well. And there's out-of-the-box integration supported for applications like Salesforce or Zendesk or NetSuite, Microsoft Dynamics, all of these CRM apps as well. So, in addition to that, we also enable Teams to become this fully integrated business messaging portal, right? So those Teams users can get all of the SMS messages, MMS messages, fax messages, all within Microsoft Teams as well. So yeah, just wanted to recap that again. With that full analytics and reporting and everything that includes those capabilities. Okay, so from an IT perspective, again, it's very, very easy to support. So as a channel partner, you don't need to get involved in managing this IT. Those IT managers can really implement Voice for Teams really seamlessly. It's a simple admin portal that allows for the synchronization of the 8x8 users to Microsoft Teams and vice versa. There's integration with Azure Active Directory. And, unlike other direct routing solutions, there are no on-premise SBCs to configure. There's no PowerShell scripts required to create routes. All of this is done invisibly in the background. And, so it just makes it really easy for IT admins. So this is a really interesting slide as a wrap up and come to the end, right? So this was some analysis that BAD, which is a technology research company. So they published this research in January, right? So they interviewed their UCC channel customers. And these perspectives are essentially from channel partners that are selling Microsoft products, right? So the pie chart on the right shows that 68% of customers were already purchasing mostly direct routing services from UCaaS providers, with just 5% purchasing calling plans directly from Microsoft. And the chart on the left, this again, this illustrates 8x8 as having the most success with Microsoft Direct Routing deals in comparison to some of the other UCaaS providers that are there. So I think clearly we do have something unique that the market wants. And I think that, as a Westcon partner, you can have a very successful opportunity in delivering 8x8 voice for Teams services to those Microsoft customers. And finally, just to wrap up, this is, the main reasons that organizations choose 8x8 as the direct routing solution is that we provide this single enterprise cloud communication platform, which we call XCaaS, and that essentially brings together UCaaS and CCaaS and your CCaaS functionality all on one cloud platform. And we extend Teams PSTN calling to 50 countries. Right, those customers can add 8x8 calling plans in countries where Microsoft don't yet offer these calling plans. And to date, we've signed up over 150,000 Teams users. So these are users, frontline staff, knowledge workers, contact center agents who use 8x8 every day to make phone calls to Microsoft Teams, and it's all invisible. All done completely seamlessly. From an IT perspective, again, it's really simple, really effortless to implement 8x8 for Microsoft Teams. And the user experience remains completely unchanged there. And finally, this is more than just a direct routing or a sub-trunking solution. We bring that native contact center integration, with the pre-built integrations, and it's all underpinned by the uptime availability of the 8x8 network. And I think it's a great time for you as Westcon partners to engage customers and to drive new revenue opportunities. So that's all from my side. Thanks for your time, and I will hand over to John to wrap up.
Lovely stuff. Thank you, Mayor. Really interesting. 270 million daily users on Teams. There's an opportunity out there, I think.
Absolutely.
So thank you very much. And I think that brings us to the end of our breakout session for today. Thank you very much for your participation. Don't forget the treasure hunt, and don't forget to register for the Imagine Realized sessions that are planned for most of our vendors. You will find a tab in the lobby to register for those. And the next part of the agenda will continue in the auditorium. So thank you very much for your time today, and enjoy the rest of the event. Thank you.